Let's uncover the truth in the darkness, where light cannot reach, and darkness reveals everything. Welcome to Crime Darkroom, where we explore real-life stories from the world of crime together. I am Elias Blackwood, a voice from the shadows, your companion on a journey into the depths of chilling crimes, haunted prisons, and cases that might never be solved. Crime always has a story to tell, you just have to listen. Now get ready. Today we're diving into one of the most terrifying places in history, a place many have entered, but only a few have managed to escape. Are you ready? Today you'll hear the story of Alcatraz prison, a place where even hope was shackled. Alcatraz, a name intertwined with fear and mystery. This small rocky island in the heart of San Francisco Bay became one of the most famous prisons in history. But why? What makes this place so unique? Initially, Alcatraz was established as a military base in 1850. The island's strategic location made it an ideal spot for monitoring the bay. However, it wasn't long before the purpose of this island changed. In 1934, Alcatraz was transformed into a federal prison, designed to be inescapable. It was reserved for America's most dangerous and infamous criminals, those who even other prisons couldn't handle. But Alcatraz was not just a prison, it was a living nightmare. Small cells, strict rules, and a silence broken only by the footsteps of guards. And worst of all, the cold, deadly waters surrounding the island. For many, entering Alcatraz meant the end of everything. But could no one really escape this nightmare? We'll find out shortly. Alcatraz was known as an escape-proof prison, but that was just a slogan. Over the 29 years of its operation, 36 people attempted to escape in 14 separate attempts. Most were either killed or recaptured, but one of these escapes became a legend. Alcatraz was known as an escape-proof prison, but that was just a slogan. Over the 29 years of its operation, 36 people attempted to escape in 14 separate attempts. Most were either killed or recaptured, but one of these escapes became a legend. Using simple spoons and basic tools, they managed to create holes in the walls of their cells, leading to the ventilation tunnels. At night, when the prisoners were supposed to be asleep, they worked quietly, digging through the walls. But escaping from their cells wasn't enough. They knew that to survive the cold, deadly waters of San Francisco Bay, they would need a boat. Using waterproof raincoats, they crafted a makeshift raft. They even designed their own life vests. On the night of June 11, 1962, Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers put their plan into action. They managed to crawl through the ventilation tunnels, scale the prison walls, and launch their makeshift raft into the water. But what happened? Did they manage to reach dry land? Or did the cold waters of San Francisco Bay pull them into its depths? The police and FBI conducted extensive investigations after the escape. Their makeshift raft and some personal belongings were found in the water. The official report states that they likely drowned, but years later, a letter was received claiming that one of the three men was still alive. The letter was allegedly written by someone claiming to be John Anglin. However, it was never confirmed whether the letter was genuine or just a prank. What do you think? Was this escape successful, or did the three men become victims of the cold, dark waters? Behind this dark veil, perhaps there's a truth that the world still doesn't want to uncover. Alcatraz was not just a prison, it was a gallery of the most notorious and dangerous criminals in history. Each cell in this prison held the story of a man whose name sent shivers down the spines of the people. Al Capone. The most famous inmate of Alcatraz was Al Capone, the legendary Chicago gangster who was sent there for crimes such as bootlegging, murder, and corruption. Al Capone believed that his money and power could work even inside prison, but Alcatraz never surrendered. It's said that Capone had a banjo in Alcatraz and would sometimes play music for himself. But here, he lost his power and influence, transforming into just another ordinary inmate. Robert Stroud, the Canary Man. However, despite his fame, Stroud wasn't allowed to keep birds in Alcatraz. Here, he was just another inmate living in isolation. George Machine Gun Kelly. George Kelly was one of America's most notorious criminals, known for armed robberies and kidnapping. His nickname, Machine Gun, came from his strong preference for using a Tommy gun. In Alcatraz, he was known as a quiet and compliant inmate. Mewins Graham. Graham was one of the inmates incarcerated for major robberies and murder. It's said that Graham made several attempts to escape from prison, but each time he failed. Alcatraz was home to many of the greatest criminals, but these stone walls were the same for everyone. It didn't matter how much power or influence you had, here, you were just a number. But even among these famous figures, one question always remains. Could this prison truly break everyone's will? Or did some still hold on to hope? In the end, even the toughest prison in the world couldn't withstand time. In 1963, the doors of Alcatraz were closed for good. But why? Alcatraz, with all its fame, had one major issue: cost. This prison was built on a remote island, and the expenses for providing water, food, and electricity were astronomical. Running the prison cost 3 times more than any other facility. In addition, the buildings of Alcatraz gradually deteriorated. The walls cracked, the security systems became outdated, and the repairs exceeded what the government could afford. But perhaps what influenced the decision to shut it down the most was public opinion. Alcatraz had become a symbol of cruelty and harshness for many. When the decision to close it was made, all the inmates were transferred to other prisons. Alcatraz went from being a place full of notorious criminals to an abandoned island. But the story of Alcatraz didn't end there. The island has now become a tourist destination, where people from all over the world come to uncover the secrets and legends of this place.